Little mini tea party, just you and me.
So cute.
That is pleasing.
Yum.
Thank you.
Caramel whiskey.
Caramel whiskey tea. I hope you guys
yeah.
have something good to enjoy while you're watching this video. Thank you for being back here with us. And it was great to connect last week after we just got back from New York. So thank you to everybody who contributed in the comments to the conversation we were having. A chunk of that conversation was around how we want to go into this new year.
And I talked about love being my kind of goal, and you said you wanted...
That I'm all for you, setting love as your goal, yes.
And you said you wanted to really enter into deep connection with your friends.
Yeah, I want us to do that. We
Us,
talked about intentionality of relationship, and that led one of you to ask the great question, how do we actually do that? And what holds us back from connecting on the deepest levels with people?
Which is a great question that we've asked ourselves many times, especially over the last year.
So we thought today for our conversation, we're going to explore that a little bit. And we'll start out by talking about some of the things we think hold us back, may hold you back from entering those kind of spaces with people. And then we're going to look at ways that we can be intentional about overcoming that. And finally, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you something that somebody gave me as a Christmas gift that shows the depth of connection I have with that person. But you're going to have to wait for that. So over to you, sweetheart. What do we...
Well, it's a great starting point to think about what holds us back from deep connection with other people. And of course, you and I are absolutely no experts in this area, but talking from our own experience.
We get along.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep going.
From our own experience, the things that hold us back are it's going to get messy. Like when you ask someone how are they doing and you really want to know the answer might not be something you want to hear. That's one of the things that holds us back. Another one is, do we actually want to engage with whatever that person's hurt is at the moment?
So I think we also have to just distinguish between politenesses, like people that you meet in the elevator on your way to work or on the street. Yeah. How you going? G'day. You know, that's one thing.
We're talking
about people that we're
friends.
actually that we actually profess to have a connection with, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Whatever that looks like, whether they're in our church, just people we socialize with, people that we know, people we share aspects of our life with, right?
There could also be the potential for misunderstandings. And there could be a potential for us getting hurt. And all I know is about the people that have allowed us to come close to them in difficult spaces, and the people that have stepped forward into our pain and shared it. Those are the people that you feel very safe with, very connected with. You end up trusting them, which of course is a scary thing too. But you can actually move forward in your life if you have people in your circle that you trust.
Yeah, so the element of risk of being able, it takes a vulnerability. Yeah. Obviously, from the person, if you really think somebody's going to talk to you in a way that's meaningful about their own situation and things that might be difficult in that takes vulnerability from them. But it also just even to ask that question, you're extending a certain level of risk, and then there's also that opportunity. You can be misunderstood, or it's like, why are you poking your nose in my problems? What is it to you? And
another barrier that we found is time. If you really ask somebody how they're doing, or a couple how they're doing, or a family, you can't just hope that, in 5 seconds they're going to tell you whatever the issue is. You're going to give them a little cute answer and move on. You need unstructured, uninterrupted time to talk, to build connection, to build trust, and to actually listen to whatever the drama is.
So if we flip those things, let's be willing to make the time, let's be willing to take the risk, and let's be willing to be misunderstood, but also, in that then, the massive component is listening, right? Yes,
massive component.
And not feeling like, we're going to come in there and fix things for you. Yeah. I think that's really important. And I'm thinking, I think it was Oscar Wilde who said that a true friend is someone who stabs you from the front. Yeah. Somebody who's willing to say it like it is, call it like they see it, right?
Yes, or in other words, in other circumstances, to just hold your hand and not say a thing. So there's sometimes that speaking that's important, that speaking of truth that's important, and sometimes there's also the truth of silence.
Sure.
Which is more healing.
Which goes to the great Chinese proverb that you should never use a hatchet to remove a fly from your friend's forehead.
That's right.
That one stuck with me because when I was a kid, there was a Geico commercial about that, but it's a good point.
Yeah, very good point. I've often turned to Henry Nouwen as a great source of inspiration when we're thinking about friendships. And I have a piece here that I would love to share because it really outlines the conversation we're trying to have today.
I always just get kind of stuck. Do we say Henry or only, or like, where do you go? Where?
I can't. You
just go with H Nouwen.
Yeah.
Henry.
And of course, he absolutely focuses on what we're talking about today, which is compassion.
Yeah.
Compassion asks us to go where it hurts, to enter into the places of pain, to share in brokenness, fear, confusion, and anguish. Compassion challenges us to cry out with those in misery, to mourn with those who are lonely, to weep with those in tears. Compassion requires us to be weak with the weak, vulnerable with the vulnerable, and powerless with the powerless. Compassion means full immersion in the condition of being human.
Wowzers. Read that last sentence.
Compassion means full immersion in the condition of being human.
It's very Anabaptist. Full immersion.
I know.
Condition of being human.
So we have to
add compassion to our list of goals for the year.
Yes. Yep.
Obviously, we all know compassion literally means to suffer alongside people. But I think that along with the suffering is also the celebration.
Absolutely. Right? and I was going to say, when we enter into other people's pain, inevitably we are going to enter into their joy as well, because
it's full immersion.
It's full immersion. So it's the whole experience of human life. More laughter than you can imagine, and also more tears.
Yeah. Great. Well, I hope that's of some substance and value to you, and thank you again for everybody who's commenting on the videos. Much appreciated. We love the dialogue.
There's going to be comments this time about flies. they're bad.
They're
suddenly.
everywhere. Are you guys ready for the next bit? I'm not sure I am.
You always do these little crazy cameos at the end.
So I got to show you my Christmas socks. I don't know if YouTube will actually even allow this because they're a bit
risque.
They're a bit risque. But a dear friend of mine knows that he and I both share a love for the great Australian mystic, legend, poet, cartoonist Michael Leunig, and so he sent me a pair of Leunig socks with Mr. Curly riding on his duck with a teapot. And that is full immersion into the human experience, right?
Yes.
So, Josh, thank you very much. Can I recommend Leunig to anybody who doesn't know him? And also Funky Socks.
Yeah, and pop some links of Leunig at the bottom, will ya? Because he's such a great cartoonist.
Absolutely. We're going out on that note?
I think so. Are people scored? I mean, that was pretty full on.
You'll cope. Have a great rest of the week.
Talk soon.
Yeah, bye. And let's drink some more of this whiskey infused Red Sparrow Special. I kind of think you and I should seriously consider becoming influencers on our channel.
I think so too.
How would it work to be influencers if we have chosen a life of voluntary possessionlessness?
Well, if we're influencers and then...
People know we have no vested interest.
No vested interest.
No, we're just here for the tea. This is awesome.